Welcome. This is Michael with DocIt USA. Today we're going to give you a pretty good overview of DocIt AI information management solutions and how it's going to help your business manage information that you have, whether it's on your computer or in your filing cabinet. And this is going to show you just how does it work, which is the question we get quite often with integrating DocIt AI with Office 365, SharePoint, OneDrive, Google Drive, and several other storage platforms. Thanks, and I hope you enjoy this. Well, the information starts with capturing it, right? So we can capture information from several sources and capturing your information from any source, classifying and securely outputting that to the destination of your choice automatically. So we can capture it whether it's coming from an MFP copier with scan destinations already preset, or if you have a scanned email set up, you can do that as well. If you have a dedicated scanner, for example, if you're a healthcare operator, you know most healthcare receptionists have scanners at their front desks. If you're using your computer and you want to print from your PC instead of printing to a printer or onto a piece of paper, we could virtually print to a hot folder or an inbox folder, whatever you prefer to call it, and then classify your documents from there. If you're in Outlook and you need to capture that information, again, you could print virtually, whether it's an email that you want to keep for your archival reasons, or any other page of Outlook, you can automatically print and classify that information. If you're in a Word document, an Excel file, or any other computer program on your computer, you could virtually print any of those documents into DocIt. Then, when you want to retrieve the document, you can retrieve those documents at any document, at any time, anywhere with simple keyword search and retrieval in seconds. So whether you're storing those in SharePoint, OneDrive, Google Drive, Dropbox, using Microsoft Copilot, we're going to show you that in a little while, or Google Gemini. Each one of these work with DocIt AI. And we're proud to say that we're agnostic to the storage mediums because so many document management companies are using proprietary storage. And what that means for you is that perhaps you want to move all your information to another platform. Well, sometimes you can't do it that easy, or you might have to buy back your own information. With DocIt, we're agnostic, we're middleware. We only take the information in, we classify it, and then we send it back out to wherever you like to store it. That's it for this slide, and hopefully you'll enjoy the next one, which is another quick video. Hi, it's Michael with DocIt USA. Welcome to part one of how to virtually print your documents and classify them with DocIt. We're going to start out with our Outlook screen as you see it on the screen here. We show here an invoice came in, and we're going to show you a couple of different documents, an incoming PDF document, a Word document, and any other document you might want to print. So let's open up this PDF first. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you can index it. Here is an invoice that was emailed to us, and it's a standard PDF. Now, over here, you see I have this highlighted. I'm going to show you why we did that when we index it. But let's say you wanted to put your invoice numbers in your documents, you can do that. So we're going to print this document, and that's going to go out to our DocIt AI printer. We'll print that. I'm going to jump back over here to Outlook now. I'm going to pick a Word document. Let's see if we have one right here. Is an email with a Word document. So you can print any document virtually that's in your system. So I'm just going to do this quickly. You can see it went out to the DocIt AI printer again. We'll hit the print button. At the same token, maybe you would like to have an email that was printed and you want to keep that content. Let's just download the pictures. Maybe you just want to reference an email that you got sent to you that belongs to another document. So let's print that one as well. It still is connecting to our printer. We're going to hit the print button and we'll be done. Now I'm going to jump back over to DocIt now. Here's a DocIt information management system. You can see the Barracuda invoice. We did not print that one. That was already in the queue. So I'm going to select Barracuda. And this document's already been indexed. But in this case, I'm going to show you something that we didn't do before. And I'm actually going to manually type in the invoice number and classify that. Here's that document that we printed. This is a 151-page document from BOCES, so I'm just going to use that drop-down list from BOCES. This is just correspondence. We'll classify that. That document's already been indexed, so let's just add the month. Maybe we have a different bid that we're referencing. Let's call this one January, so we'll classify that. There's that Word document that we printed. I'm just going to put that under DocIt USA. And we're going to call that correspondence, classify that. We don't need a month for that, but we'll leave it to January anyway. So that is how fast and easy it is to print any document. If we hit our refresh screen, there's that invoice that we copied before. And if I wanted to use that one with Tri-State, I'm going to put that in as an invoice. And if you remember earlier where I highlighted it, I'm going to right click here and I'm going to paste the invoice number in. That's that invoice number right there. And that is from November. So we'll just jump down to November. Now, we don't have to do this actually, but I'm showing it to you in part 1. And the later parts, part 2 and 3, when we start showing you some extraction, and we'll also show you how you could use an OCR word search if you wanted to do it without adding any of the metadata in. So that's part 1 in a nutshell of using DocIt for virtually printing. See you later on part 2. Now with DocIt, when we're retrieving those documents, obviously we've put them someplace. Whether we put them in Sharepoint, OneDrive, Google Drive, Dropbox, you're using Microsoft Copilot to search any or all of the above. Maybe you're using Google Gemini. We can use any retrieval from any document at any time with simple keywords. You can use invoice numbers. You can search by name, account, amount, etc. Whatever criteria you prefer. And as an added bonus, if you are using a smartphone, you can leverage the cloud to search and retrieve anywhere, literally having your own filing cabinet in the palm of your hand. So whether it's for example, you're an HR person and you need to search by a person's name, maybe you need to retrieve their resume. Maybe you're looking for just standard files and folders that you've now classified in an index and you have your phone with you and you're a road warrior, whether you're a salesperson, insurance agent, an attorney, or an accountant, but you need a document that you don't necessarily have in your hand or in your briefcase, you can search and retrieve any one of those documents that have been classified and indexed. That came from a computer, that came from a scanner, anything and everything that has been classified through DocIt AI information management. Okay, Michael, with part 2, search and retrieval. We're going to cover all the different ways that once you've indexed your documents with DocIt AI, there's several ways that you can be able to retrieve your documents. In part 2, we're only going to show you the components within the Windows search framework. Then on the next video, we're also going to show you the search from SharePoint, Teams, and Google Drive. But right now, we're just going to use the standard interface from DocIt to search and retrieve your documents. So the first thing we're going to show you is standard retrieval. Now you're going to notice on the screen that you have the home button right here. Now the home button, consider that your global search, where it's going to search everything and anything that's been indexed and classified. If we drop down our menu, these are going to show you all the subfolders. That's only if you've elected to use subfolders. You don't have to use subfolders. If you wanted to keep everything in one bucket, so to speak, you can do that. Where subfolders come in handy, it could be departmental, it could be location, for example, real estate management companies, and it could be for branch offices. So in this case, we have it subfolders with vendors, but it could be any combination of how you want it to be. So if I were to search while I'm still on the Home tab and I click my search button, it's going to bring up everything that we have searched for. If I just click on, for example, BOCES, it's only going to find BOCES information. Same thing if I went to TD SYNNEX, it'll find TD SYNNEX information. If I come back to the home screen, the second way of searching is strictly by a file name. If I were to type in BOCES, it's going to find the BOCES document. If I click on that, it brings up the document. That's a preview of the document. We could also show the thumbnails of the document if needed to. We can scroll through them from over here as well. I'm going to X out of that for a moment. You could also do what are called combination searches. So let's say, for example, I wanted to mix the name and part of an invoice number. Well, maybe I just want to use an invoice number, and I've chosen to use invoice numbers. You don't have to, but maybe in your business you'd like to. So if I were to type in, for example, 84620 and click search, it's going to find the invoice that belongs to that number, which is right here, 84620 from PAX 8. For example, maybe I don't have all the information. Maybe I only have part of the criteria. In this case, I'm going to use TD with an asterisk, which is a wildcard number, and part of the invoice number. And I search for that. You can see it found the document, which is from TD SYNNEX, which is the whole name, and the entire invoice number, even though we only put in part of the invoice number. So you can search for it several different ways like that. If I only wanted to put in 8553, it's still going to find the same document. Since I already have it up, you're not going to see a screen change, but let's try the 84621, but I'm going to leave off the 0. And you can see it found any document that has the matching criteria of 8462 in it. If there was more than one document with the same sequence of numbers, it would find all of them that show 84620. So that's just a couple of different ways to get around the search screen. The next one that I'm going to show you is by what we call our quick search screen. So I'm going to minimize DocIt, and I'm going to bring in my quick search screen. You can see right here on my screen, it's just looking through my entire directory of OneDrive or my local PC. And if I wanted to search here in the upper right-hand corner, let's say if I wanted to search for BOCES again, I can type in BOCES, and it's going to bring up all my documents that have the word BOCES in them. If I jump back to, let's say, and you can see here, this is from the subfolder categorization from before where we chose to use subfolders. Then the next one I'm going to show you is using window search down here where you can type here to search. And in this case, you can see up at the top of the screen, I'm going to click on Documents. And again, you can see now it's showing the word Documents in the bottom of the screen. If I wanted to type in BOCES again, you can see it's going to find the BOCES correspondent document. If I click on that, it's going to go right to that document that we indexed earlier. That's the same bid that we were looking at from DocIt when we retrieved it. And you can search any document through Windows that you've already indexed. So here's a PAX 8 invoice. I click on that one. So those are multiple ways of searching once your documents have been classified. So in a nutshell, when you're using DocIt, there's a lot of different ways. You can retrieve them from here. You can retrieve them using Windows Quick Search, and you can use them using Windows Search and Retrieve. So that's a wrap for this part of part 2, searching and retrieval. The next time we'll be showing you how to use it in Windows, Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, and Google Drive. Michael, tuning out with part 2. Next slide, we're going to be showing you when you're retrieving a document, whether it's in SharePoint, OneDrive, Google Drive, or Dropbox, you have a couple of different options that you're able to use. You can do what's called an OCR search. We'll show you that in a little while. An OCR stands for optical character recognition, which just simply means that the Google Drive or SharePoint or others are going to read the entire document and actually capture all that what looks like typing from the paper and be able to translate that into a search criteria. You can search the entire data store or search within a document. So the next slide that we're going to be showing you is going to be using your smartphone for retrieving. So we always wanted to show you as well using your smartphone and integrating DocIt USA and our document information platform using your smartphone as your filing cabinet wherever you go. So I'm going to show you between Google Drive, OneDrive, and SharePoint, and the integration that DocIt has with a company intranet if that's what you are using. So let's start with Google Drive. And you can see here on my phone that we have several folders. So in Google Drive, you can search by directly going into the category that you're looking for. If you wanted to search, for example, by a company name, let's say we just typed in ADI and hit search, it's going to bring up anything that has ADI in it. If we wanted to drill down a little bit further and look at that invoice, we can bring it up. We can approve it. If we were a salesperson, maybe we're on a sales call, we forgot a document. Now you could have your document very handy with you anywhere you go. You're an attorney and you forgot a filing or a brief, you can search any document you want. So the other thing about Google Drive, and I'm going to show you this, is that perhaps you want to search by a keyword. So let's say transfer role, which I have up on my screen already. That was what I was looking for. You're going to find right now, you see right here in the middle of the screen, it found the document that had the words transfer role in it. So if we go back now, if you were searching, I don't know, let's come up with a number. Let's say we were looking for an invoice number, and it was 155. I think passed it already, 35. There we go. You can see how fast on your phone you're able to find that invoice, and you can see right here the invoice number is 153566030. This is all from your mobile phone, searching all your documents. All right, now we're going to jump over to SharePoint and OneDrive, give you a similar screen. So if we're going to go over to OneDrive, and I'm going to jump over to here, our DocIt AI demo. And this is what it's all about, integrating artificial intelligence with your documents. Again, we can start out with a global search. Up here, if we wanted to search anything, let's say, for example, if I wanted to look for Betty, it's now searching everything, looking for Betty, and there is Betty Wilson. So let's say I'm in HR department, I need to look up Betty's resume. Here I am, Betty's resume. You can see how fast you're able to do that. Let's go back. Let's say we're looking for documents for finance, and here's invoices. These are purchase orders. You could have it by vendor. You could have it by customer. You could have it by a client. For example, here's a BOCES correspondence, BOCES purchase orders, BOCES sales orders. if you were searching the same way, if you were, I'm just going to bring up BOCES from Global Search, and you'll find that it's going to bring up anything with the word BOCES in it. You could also mix and match those search criteria by putting two words together. For example, if I wanted to search a name and a number, I could put an asterisk or a star in between the two search criteria, and it would find anything with those two words in it. Now I'm going to jump over to the intranet. Let's say you have a company intranet, and if you don't have one, we're happy to set one up for you. But let's use our company intranet. And here you can see there's separate departments: documents, finance, HR. If I want to jump over to finance, and we jump into our accounting folder, now we have it broken up into two regions, Dublin and USA. If I wanted to quickly bring up anything in USA, I could bring that up. Here are some invoices that if I wanted to look for them. Here's by vendor. If I wanted to look up Pax 8, very, very simple. I could search by the name of the company. I could search by their invoice number. If I wanted to jump back over to Ireland, I can just do that. Here's Dublin. If I wanted to bring up electricity, and you can just see how powerful this all is by using DocIt for information management and the power of AI coupled with Google Drive, OneDrive, Sharepoint, and having your own internal intranet. Now, the great part about the intranet is if you happen to be using Microsoft Office 365, you could also incorporate this into Microsoft Teams. So during any Teams meetings, if you wanted to share documents or need to search documents during a team meeting, any of these documents that you've provided permission to view and share will be able to be accessed in Teams during any Teams meeting. All right, now we'll carry on with the rest of the PowerPoint. The advanced functionalities that you get using SharePoint or Azure Document Intelligence or Microsoft Syntex is the ability to extract the data from your documents, whether it's contracts, whether it's finance, for example, for invoice criteria. Perhaps you want to create OBDC connectors into QuickBooks, for example. If you're using QuickBooks Enterprise, it comes standard with QuickBooks Enterprise. So DocIt AI can output to SharePoint, process those documents through Microsoft Syntex or Azure Document Intelligence, and then actually extract the data fields and then export that data to an Excel file. Once it's in Excel, then you can manipulate it any which way you choose as if it was a standard Excel file. You could also create dataverses where if you wanted to use databases with it, you can have it exported into a dataverse. The other advantage is that once the data is extracted, then you can use Microsoft Copilot to search that data. And we're going to show you that in the next slide. In this slide, this is the result of processing your documents through DocIt AI after the documents have been classified and stored in SharePoint. The folder that the documents are exported to are then processed automatically. There's nothing that you need to do once it's set up. Are processed automatically through data extraction, Syntex, or Azure Document Intelligence. And you can see from this screen, it actually creates all the header information. You can see on the left side of the screen are all the documents, all the invoice totals, the vendor name, the classification date, who it was created by, the date, and the confidence score. All of these columns are actually customizable as well, and you're able to actually interact with them once the data has been extracted. You could also launch a view of the document by double-clicking on the hyperlinks. The document intelligence is a learning thing, and it's something that we're more than happy to help you set up with our professional services team. So with AI, whether it's Copilot or Gemini, AI is all the rage, and you have a lot of information that is stored statically in your filing cabinets or on that paper that's sitting on your desk. Now, there's a lot of things you can do with that data once you've processed it through DocIt and then classified it and running it through Copilot or Gemini. So your data holds lots of information, and you got to think, how can you use that data? Maybe you want to use it for marketing purposes. Maybe you want to use it to search who are your most profitable customers, or which items are selling the best, or which salesperson sold the most revenue, or what product is selling the best. And it's very simple to use. So when you're running Copilot, in this particular example, we simply asked it to create a letter confirming the invoice total over 100 by vendor name and gave it the Excel file to look at, which is called query2.xlsx. And you can actually see we spelled the word by wrong, and we spelled it as BE. And then we asked it to create a confirmation letter as well. And at the bottom, you see it says, I have created a letter confirming the invoice totals over 100 by vendor name using the data from the Excel file you provided. You can download the letter from the link below. On the right side of the screen, you'll see that it created a whole list of all the vendors that had sales over $100. And that's just a quick example of using Copilot with the extracted data. Is what else can Copilot do, or Copilot or Gemini? In this case, we asked it to say, to prepare an order letter to the customer confirming the invoice total by vendor name Hicks of Dunn Lugahare from Excel file named orders. So if we have an existing Excel file that we've now downloaded all our information into, and perhaps we want to confirm a purchase order or an invoice or a sales order with the end user, we can ask Copilot to literally search the database, pull the data off the Excel file, and then create the letter all automatically just by asking it a few questions. The power of AI to help process information, to make your business more profitable, more productive, and more reliable is right at your fingertips. Just think about the power of just writing that question, prepare an order letter to the customer confirming the invoice total. How long that would normally take the average user. Would they have to first go find the document? Would they have to first call the customer? This can be done with a few keystrokes and have it spit out all the data all automatically. We're happy to show you how to do this in depth. You can contact us at any time, www.docitusa.com.